Hey, how's it going, guys? Mr. Boss for the win here, and in today's Grand Theft Auto 5 video, I'm going to be showing you guys the likely location of one of the headquarters for your organizations that are going to be coming out in Rockstar's GTA Online Felony and Finance update. So a user on the GTA forums, NK Gelman, he actually did some research and is going to be helping us with some of the images you'll see in this video regarding possibly the location of one of the headquarters. My friend Austin, the Saints fan, did this yesterday. I didn't have time. I did 2 videos and a live stream the other day, so I didn't have time to fit it in, but we're going to be covering it right now, and we think we found a few key elements that are going to give away the actual location of one of these headquarters spots. So before we jump into that, let's actually jump into the screenshots that Rockstar offered. Now, there's 2 key elements that we can get out of this screenshot. The first of which is the sun. We can tell kind of where the location is, and that will actually help us for determining the spot of where we're going to be looking at in terms of where the building is and how the sun is going to look. Because if it's not facing that direction, we'll know that that building is not a possibility. And also the small sliver of a building that can be seen in between the side of the computer and the edge of the window, or I guess the edge of the screenshot. So another user on the forums, Crisis Averted, he actually kind of enhanced the screenshot, which is what you're going to be looking at right now. So you can see the colors a little bit better. I think he like HDR'd it, which kind of looks a little intense. But if we zoom in, we can actually see that the building to the right of the computer has horizontal stripes, as well as what looks to be a red logo in the center of those horizontal stripes, as well as what look to be a few other white lines vertically and horizontally going up the building. So that's pretty interesting, and that is probably our biggest clue as to what building that could possibly be. All right, so let's go back to Los Santos now, and does this building look familiar right here? So we've got the vertical stripes, we've got the horizontal stripes, and we've also got that red blurry logo. And I think this is the building right here. This is the Cell Tower building. I think it's a fictional cell phone company in game. And I'll show you guys where it's on the map right now in case you're curious. So it's in Little Seoul and San Andreas Ave. So it's right here. It's right next to the clothing store. It's also right next to the Vespucci canals. So go right here and you should see this building. This is kind of the outline. It's like an arrowhead shape. So really, really interesting. And it looks like that the logo on the front of the building right here is the one we were ultimately looking at. So that part checks out, but let's also take a look at the sun. We can kind of tell that screenshot was taken in the morning, and wouldn't you know, since we were pretty high up, the sun is visible from that same angle, if you guys can see that right here. So that's pretty interesting. That's kind of 2 for 2 on our checklist of things to look out for. The building with the logo and obviously the way the sun shines. Now, we don't know the exact time. I've got it set in the morning right now, and I've also got it set so this time never changes. So that sun's position is going to stay the same. But this is pretty interesting. Is this the building that we could see from that location? All signs are indicating towards yes, it is. Okay, so now we need to look for possible locations of where the headquarters might be. A lot of people are suggesting it's this building right here, the one with the clock tower on top of it. And that could make sense because it is pretty high elevated up, and it's got the helipad right there as well, which is pretty neat. And if we go in this back alley right here, there's also a bunch of garages too, which could be really useful for storing certain vehicles. So I'm going to crash my helicopter here if I'm not careful, and I probably will, but as you can see, there's a bunch of garages right here that Rockstar could ultimately end up opening up and could be used for any vehicles we use in the organization and the warehouse. The only problem is I don't know if it's in the exact angle or not. It's really tough to tell because the photo was taken at an angle, kind of like it was at a desk. I'm going to land here because I think I'm going to actually crash. We're going to go on top, and I'll give you guys a little bit of a better view from there. Okay, so I don't know if we would exactly be on the top floor close to the penthouse, but take a look at this. So let's just say we were in the corner office right here. Let's go in first person mode to give you guys that visual effect. There's the building, and there's the sun right there. Now, obviously, if we play around with the time a little bit, you'll see the sun change position there. I think that's at 6:30. That's at 7:30 right there. And we were at 8:30, which is a little bit higher in the sky. So once again, we clearly don't know when this took place or what time of day, but kind of based on the screenshot, it does look like it takes place sometime early in the morning. So let's actually zoom in right here. We've obviously got our Cell Tower building with the logo. We've got the sun. So could this be a possible location right here? Absolutely. Now, there's likely going to be more than one, which obviously does make sense. But this could be one of the cool locations. It's got the clock tower built in there, which I think is pretty nice. Helicopter pad right there. Garages in this kind of alleyway. And as kind of an added bonus, it's close to Vespucci Beach. Like I said, don't know if that's going to be valuable in any sort of way, but it is still pretty neat, and this could be one of our locations right here. Now, luckily for us, we can kind of eliminate some of the buildings in GTA 5 because they're too short to get the exact angle that we were looking at, especially because you were looking down upon the building with the logo. So a lot of people are also saying that it could be this building right here, the Lum Bank. And this one, it looks like an HQ office. So I'm actually going to go land on the roof real quick. Now, I know exactly, you're not exactly this high, but again, it is another building with a helipad. So that could be very useful for spawning Pegasus vehicles, whether it's a Buzzard, whether it's a Swift, or whether it's, any a Super Velito like the one I've got right now. And that's pretty important, especially if you're going to be using the helipad on the roof. But still, things look to be checking out here. We've got the location of the sun, which is right there, which is looking pretty cool. Again, based on the time, we'd be able to tell a little bit easier. And if we zoom in here with our sniper rifle, we can also see our cell tower building also. So that could be the logo that could be seen, or it could be the one over there. Now, granted, we wouldn't exactly be on the roof. We'd probably be maybe a floor or two below, very similar to the way the apartments work. They're always on like the top 2 floors of the building. So I think this one could be really cool. It's the Lum Bank building. Not only is it an executive building, but it's also a little bit bigger in stature and a little bit bigger in size too. So let me see if I can drop you guys down a little bit, maybe to the level of where we're at. Keep in mind, you got to be above like the building line in order to see that. But that's looking pretty close right there with the sun rays coming in. The fact that off in the distance, you can still see that cell tower building. So this one would be pretty cool. Another interesting thing that's neat about this is below in this same building, you've literally got the exact same style. We're going to land on this guy's car. You've got the exact same style garage as kind of the apartments do. Now, granted, it kind of slopes down a little bit, but this is where you'd maybe be able to store your vehicles. And in fact, there's a lot of them. It's like a full garage, and there you could be storing a lot of cars in there. So that's one explanation that I think is pretty cool. I think this one is a little bit more likely than the first one we looked at with the clock tower, but ultimately either one could be. And even on the ground floor, it officially looks like a really, really nice building. So I think the Lum Bank one is definitely a strong possibility for one of the headquarter locations to have. It fits the bill, it's got the look, and it's also got the location as well. Now, one last thing about this clock tower building that I think is pretty cool, and these are images from Mo Dojo. He actually got inside of the building. He kind of like replicated it with props, and it looks pretty cool. And that's sort of the view you get, which looks very, very similar. Now, once again, this could obviously be one of the locations. I'm sure there's going to be multiple. I think it would be kind of odd if there was only one headquarters spot in Grand Theft Auto Online for all the people that are going to be creating organizations. But those images he's recreated are pretty cool and give us a pretty similar viewpoint as well. So that's extremely cool. All right, another location I think looks pretty cool could be the Maze Bank corporate building. So Maze Bank is all over Los Santos. You have the Maze Bank building, Maze Bank Arena, and in this one right here, you've got like a Maze Bank corporate office. So one of the telltale signs, again, the helipad on top, which again could be used for Pegasus vehicles, could be used for really anything, spawning in other aircrafts and whatnot. So let's do the quick check again. The sun angle looks pretty good, and it aligns nicely with our building. Now, obviously, it could be different if we were on the inside, and we're in single player right here, just testing all this out. You can see cell tower right there, cell tower right there. Sun kind of at that same similar angle. I'm actually going to get back in the helicopter and kind of fly down at a little bit of a lower level just so you can kind of see. Obviously, none of the offices are going to take place at this height. Like I stated, they're probably going to be a floor or two lower. So to give you guys the full effect, and remember, only a tiny sliver of that building was in the screenshot. So again, there's just a lot of variables to play with here, but those are the two best ones we have so far. And dropping down a little bit more, it's always nice to do checks for if there's garages. And this building has a garage as well. It's got a pretty nice one right there with kind of a loading bay And there's even some more off to the side too that are kind of in the opposite building. So this one could be used too. Like I said, even more garage space right here. A really nice formal entrance with the Maze Bank sign. So this would obviously be a great entrance way to go into. So that would be pretty cool, and obviously this could be another location. Now, something else that's also got me thinking, I'm kind of just gonna walk around right here. How are the warehouses gonna work? Rockstar have kind of implied that they're gonna be together in the same building, but I found that kind of odd because a lot of times you'll have a corporate office, kind of like this that you can see right here, and then you'll have an off-site warehouse that's literally a warehouse for just storing goods and products. So there's two things that I can think of. It's either going to be like underground, like underneath the buildings, and that'll how Rockstar will kind of make them, or they'll be in a separate offshore, or I guess off-site location. And the other day I was doing an open interiors mod, and I found a really cool location. And I didn't say it on stream because I was trying to stay focused, but it really got me thinking, you know, could this serve as an awesome location for a warehouse? So it's actually right here in La Puerta. So this is one of the open interiors that we can go to thanks to that mod. So I'm actually going to teleport there right now. And the location I'm in right now is actually used in a mission. I think it's called The Long Stretch. And it's like a warehouse that a drug deal went down in. It's multiple floors. It's multiple levels, as you can see right here. It's pretty interesting. And there's a lot of crazy stuff inside. There's like a full warehouse with a bunch of different things you can see. Like, look at this. This is like a drug packing facility. So this is really crazy. Again, I think this is like a recycling plant, but this could obviously be used for drugs and whatnot. There's like a bunch of machinery here. So this could easily be used as like a narcotics warehouse or something like that as compared to a recycling plant. So maybe this is an example of one of the warehouses in game. Again, I'm really not too sure how Rockstar intends on using this. In fact, this is like the first time I've ever really been in this part of the building, and there's our exit right there. But that could be great as far as using, I guess, these buildings that are already in game as really cool places to explore and create as warehouses for Grand Theft Auto Online. But as always, I'd love to hear from you guys in the comment section down below. Let me know what you think about my theories as well as everyone else's theories on the warehouse locations and the locations for the headquarters. Do you think we're spot on? Do you think we're in the right direction? Let me know what you think in the comment section down below. If you did go on to enjoy the video, a like rating would of course be awesome. And also subscribe to my YouTube channel if you are new or you like daily GTA 5 videos like this. With all the way, guys, like I said, thanks for watching. Take care, and I'll see you guys in the next video.